Hi, I'm Scrapping Amy and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you how to create one of my favorite types of pages in this album. It has everything that folds out and is really interactive. This type of thing is why I fell in love with memory books. So let's get started. Today I am only using dies from the Life's Journey Keepsake Based Creator die set. That's a mouthful still. There are a variety of sizes in here that I do use. This one was provided to me by Tonic Studios, and of course I'll also be using the spine die when I get around to attaching it. That's okay. The other thing I wanted to say, in my practice album, if you watched that, there was a fold out flap that had a spot for a little Polaroid looking picture, or spot to put a picture. That's this part. I'm not going to be doing that right now. I want to wait and see what the prompts are for that time period and see if I actually have something that will fit in there. Otherwise, I can switch it out and do something else. So I'm going to set that to the side. Whew. Okay. The only thing that does not come from the base die set today are these. So this actually still does come from the base. However, I have cut out of the border some border strips that I have, or border dies, to make a decorative border. So this can be done with any type of border punch, border die, or you can just leave it straight. So I'm going to set those to the side, and let's talk about what you're going to see. First up is going to be the actual base. This is the 7-inch base, and then the matting layer to go on top of that. Then we're going to end up with two of the 6-inch bases. They'll actually go in like this with the pattern paper on top of it on both sides. And then when you flip those up, you have some of the 5-inch bases that will fold out to the side here and then out to the side here. And again, there will be the 5-inch decorative layer on top of that. I've also included some pockets. So this large one will end up down here, and I'm trying to remember. The smaller one goes right down. Goes down. There you go. Small one. This one goes here, and then this pocket. Actually, this pocket goes there. I just cut that one a little bit bigger. And I actually did realize. Hold on, there is another die set I'm going to use. I'll be right back. Alright, so of course I cannot find the die set that I'm actually using. So Tonic makes a couple pocket slides, and this one happens to be this like jean pocket shaped. I'm going to end up using this one. They both work the same way, and I'm pretty sure these two were provided to me by Tonic as well. They look like baby themed, and of course absolutely they can be baby themed. Peekaboo, My First, whatever, Step, Smile, Words, but they're interchangeable as well. So I just want to let you know I'm going to be using that, and I'm going to pull that out right now because I know me, I will forget. So first up, we are going to do some scoring. This is why I like to make a practice book, because then I have something I can go back and look at. So for these, where we did the hinge on this, for this stuff, we're using the set 1. Oh, I call it set 1. It's not actually called that. But we're using the original set, which has these open pages. So what I'll do is I'll score right along there, and then that automatically gives me the right size that will go on there. The first thing I'm going to do, I actually start from the smallest in for this. We're going to begin with the two small flaps right here. Originally, this was my plan to be the most complicated page of all of them. It's not. There's one coming up for days 19 and 20 that I actually think is a little bit more complicated. So step 1 is to cut out all of the base pages. I end up with 5 of them. The largest is already prepped and ready to go into the book. Then I have these 4 smaller pages. These are all my different flaps. And you see the little hang tabs that I went and just trimmed off of them. I'm going to trim them off of all of them. That is where I just ripped the paper to I like watching myself fumble with this. That's where I trimmed the paper so I didn't have the full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. This die set, because it's a base set, has the open edge on it. So 3 of the sides cut of the die and 1 does not. That is so you can extend out the page as long as you want. For pages like what I'm doing here with all of the lift the flap type things, it makes it an absolute breeze, because where those little tabs were, I cut them off, but that's also where I score, so I automatically have a hinge. It's automatically the right size, and I know it's going to fit well with the next largest or smallest page it's going to fold out. So score and fold all 4 of the smaller ones. And this is where I'm going to be doing a little bit of planning. I want to make sure that I like which paper is going where, and that's something I tend to plan out probably more than more than I should. I feel like that's something I need to remember to just do off camera, but you know, I'm happy I remembered to cut everything and ink it off camera this year. Each year I'm getting a little better, you know. I'm using the 1/8 of an inch score tape. This is going to help the pages stay in place until the liquid glue completely dries. Now that the score tape is on each of what I would consider the hinge of the page, it's time to add your liquid glue. I know I said with the other one, I work from smallest to largest. I don't when it comes to the bases, and I'm probably, knowing me, don't have any consistent way that I do it, because when I picture it in my head, it's always different. So medium size goes on the back of the large sized base, and then I go and let me go and move everything from underneath and not actually get this glue put on. And then the smallest base goes on the hinge part, goes on the back of the medium base. My teacup there is working as a weight just to keep these things together as I'm moving around. I will sometimes just do like the top half, let it dry, and then do the bottom half and let it dry. But since I'm filming all of this, I figured you would want to see it. So teacup to the rescue. You can use, if you have something that's a weight, that'd be great. If you have a clip, binder clip, a clothespin or something to hold it there, then that works as well too. And the bottom is the exact same way as the top. The next step involves putting the magnets on. Because there is going to end up being a lot of weight on this page, I end up doing 2 magnets for each flap. I think then, I'm hoping at least, that by the time I get the 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, this whole 5 days, once I get these 5 days of pictures and journaling and memories in there, that the 2 magnets will help them to stay closed a little better. It also means that when I'm putting things into the pockets, I am more likely to not double up the layers so much and to interfere with magnets, because while they're strong, they're not going to hold through like 7 layers of paper. So top and bottom, I do the magnets the same way. This is a little bit of a fiddly part. I found that those tongs I'm using, they're from Tonic. They came with one of their craft kits. I really like for putting or for moving the adhesive on these magnets. The magnets do stick, but for some reason I seem to have better control of them. I have another set of tongs from Tonic Studios that are a little different, and while I like those two, I sometimes struggle with them because they're longer, and then the actual tip of them is longer. So for me at least, they're harder to control, which you would think they're not magnets, they're tweezers. Come on. To you I say, yeah, I know, trust me, but it's me. So making sure everything's getting placed down. And I do go back and forth at one point to decide if I wanted to do another magnet from the bottom medium to the large base. I end up not, which I'm hoping I don't regret that, but you know. So next, we finally made it to the fun part. 10 minutes in, and all we've been doing is actually showing construction of it. So this is the glitter cardstock is from Tonic Studios. Just like everything else, I am putting on some of the adhesive, the score line tape. I'm like forgetting all the names of things. I'm putting the score line tape on it and then using liquid glue. Normally I don't recut things like this. So the edge of the pocket, and here I'm explaining it. If it's a straight line like the days 1 and 2, I will just cut and kind of round it. This to match if there's a scallop. Because this one has all the little scallops and there are going to be more of them because I'm letting that red glitter layer go down farther, so I have more that actually like grips to the paper. Putting stuff on top of glitter card is dangerous to do at times. So I lined up the base matting layer, which has those I want to say Christmas baubles, but what do we call them? Christmas ornaments. Woo! It's early in the morning. I need apparently some more coffee. So I'm doing it so it matches up perfectly with the ornaments on the back page. Then I don't have to like cut and round everything individually, which drives me crazy. Now I'm not putting on any score tape there, and I'm just using liquid glue. I'm going back and forth to make sure everything matches up. And the reason I'm doing that is because that's going to be a pocket. I don't want that score line tape being a sticky adhesive. When I put a tag or a journaling card or a photo in that pocket, I don't want it to hit a sticky layer and then not be able to be removed without, damaging the pocket or the card or the photo. So for that reason, I end up just using the liquid glue for those pockets, which again is another reason I love this art glitter glue, because it can do such thin lines. All right, speeding it up a little bit more because I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be a like hour-long video. And I do want to say the footage that I took, it took me about an hour to put this entire page together. I had over an hour of footage, I think like an hour and 7 minutes. And I've not really taken a lot of footage out, but what I have done is speeded it up. So when you are there putting together these base layers, it's going to take some time. I want you guys to realize that, because this was not a quick one and done type of thing, just bam, 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 it's finished. I do have pages like that. If you noticed, I had emphasized the moment before the wreath. There's a pocket on the side of the wreath. I did not glue down the right hand side of that because I will put in some little tags there. I like to hide some tags throughout it. If I end up not needing that space, then quite easily I can just put a little thin line of glue and seal it back up. But there's always going to be something that I'm like, oh, I don't have room to tell that story and I really want it in there. That's where I can put it in one of these little hidden spots. So that gold cardstock I held up, and that I have right here, that's me rounding that corner because it's just a thin little piece of glitter card. I describe myself as an out of sight, out of mind person. If you look at the bottom left corner, there's a sheet of red paper, and you can just barely see something decorative underneath that. That would be the red glitter card that I went and cut fancy borders of to put on the pocket here and then the pocket and on the bottom fold out. And that I completely forgot and ended up doing gold. Once I cleaned up, I went, oh yeah. So the fancy little scallop does show up in another page. All right, full disclosure, I have no clue if I'm doing this right or not at this point. I am marking where the little slider cutout is going to go. I don't use the slider card that they have. I like the little scalloped one from Milan Fonset better. So I go ahead and cut the two places for that, and clearly struggle with peeling it off too. I've just marked the back of the little piece that was cut out as the right-sided one, because I will use those cutout pieces again. They get glued into the book, and I want to make sure the pattern is continuous, so I mark on the back right and left just in case I do forget, or I look at it and I'm like, oh, it all looks like it goes together, because that's happened to me before too. I'm sure it's happened to you too. Okay, so I have the little slits cut now. Mark the left one. And then this is where I talked about the magnet making, I can't remember if it was this one or another one. I talked about making sure the magnets weren't showing. This is one spot where the magnets almost showed. But that's another reason why I keep the little parts that I cut out, is because I want them to cover up whatever might be on the page. So right now I'm talking about the little not divots, little arms that stick out on the tonic one. That's to prevent it from going down inside the pocket. Since I'm not using that, I need to come up with a way to prevent those cards from going too far down inside and then you being unable to reach them without damaging them. So first, before I even do that, I'll go ahead and I ink them. I want to ink the openings so you can see the openings easier, and I definitely want to ink the insides so that when you're looking at it without the inserts, you're able to quickly identify where the pocket is on the page. With that craft cardstock, I'm actually going to create channels on the inside. Think of it as a parking place. I actually figured out how to zoom as well. Let's be proud of me for that one. So I'm cutting some thin strips, and what I'm going to do is place them on the sides of the inserts as well as the bottom. I'm going to glue them in there and let them dry. So when the page is attached in a moment, only the outside edges and the little top bits are attached, nothing inside of where these pockets are going to be, the inserts. Channels, that's what I'm calling them. The little channels are going to be. I'll put glue on the other side of the channels as well when I glue it down so it is attached. This will prevent the card from going in and getting lost in there, because I've had that happen before, especially with little kids. They're looking at the album and they put the card back in a little too hard, and suddenly you're like, I can't get the card out. So these side channels are simply so they don't interfere with each other as they go in and out. I probably really don't need them. I could probably get by with just the bottom parts, but you know, better safe than sorry. I keep using that one insert because I'll be using the same kind of inserts for this book that I used for the last one. So I'm just using it to make sure that it goes down far enough, but you can still have enough pulled out. Okay, now we are back to gluing down the paper. I've set aside that one piece with the slits in it because I'm going to glue it down after I've given things a chance to dry. I don't want to accidentally have some glue at the side and then end up gluing it where I can't fit it in at all. So this is where that Polaroid picture die will go if I decide to use it. I also have some other pages I can use it on. I will likely just pre-make a few of those with different patterns and then put them in wherever I want when it comes to that day and wanting to decorate. As I go through this series, my plan is to show you all of the base pages decorated. The inserts, some of them I will show you, others I will do ahead of time. Like I'm planning on doing the movie tags ahead of time because we're watching movies already and I want to be able to record them, because 2 people in my house did not record last year. And when I kept reminding them, like, we'll do it, still haven't done it. Well, now I'm getting I don't know if I'll remember. I'm like, well, you better remember something, because I've got 2 cards with Al's name on it that says you watch 0 Christmas movies. You're making me look like the Christmas person. And I am definitely not the Christmas person in this house. So the poinsettia paper I use as the flip down medium size. I go ahead and make the pocket for it from that paper that had the poinsettias in the top and bottom corners. I love how that looked. And again, there I am with the gold cardstock, and I'm like, I am such an idiot at times. Still laugh about that. Cannot believe that I had this beautiful red glitter card cut, ready to go, and then nothing happened. I can't remember if I mentioned it with the back of the other ones. The back of that pattern paper, if you look closely when I put the glue on it, was black. I had already glued it to cardstock to give it a little more, make it a little more sturdy. Now we are gluing this top card on. You can see I'm making sure to leave the parts where the insert will go glue free. And there you go. And now I'm just going to put those in. It looks nice. You can see them, of course, but it doesn't bother me. I want them to be seen. I stick my tweezers in there so it can dry without potentially gluing down the pocket again. So there you have it. Everything is absolutely lovely. These are going to be the partner pages you'll see on each side. I will have places to insert things and record all sorts of different little bits of Christmas magic. If you guys aren't already subscribed, I'd love if you would join the One Mommy Scrapping family. And I hope you guys all have a lovely day and a very Merry Christmas. Bye.